Let's now move to Machakos County, where Habitat for Humanity, a non-governmental organization, has launched an ambitious initiative that will see the construction of 40 houses to vulnerable families in select counties in the country, beginning with Machakos, as the organization celebrates 40 years of operation in the country. 10 families are set to benefit from the project in Machakos, with the campaign drawing support from individuals, private sector and international well-wishers. Among the supporters of the Habitat for Humanity is Chief Justice Martha Koome, who has fully financed the construction of one of the houses to be constructed in Machakos. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, in 2 weeks' time, a building event for the international supporters will take place in Laikipia, with another event slated for the Easter holiday, which will attract corporates who are willing to support the vulnerable families financially and physically.
40 years ago, in the year 1982, Habitat for Humanity Kenya began its operations in the country with a vision of a country where the citizens have a decent place to live. 40 years later, the organization is commemorating this milestone by running the Adopt a House Build Hope campaign, which seeks to build 40 houses for 40 families in the counties of Machakos, Laikipia, Tana River and Homa Bay. On Tuesday, Habitat for Humanity officially began the campaign in the county of Machakos, with Chief Justice Martha Koome laying the foundation stone of one of the 40 houses set to be constructed countrywide.
The needs of this family that we are helping today are needs that are just. All their needs require justice. For them to be able to access a reasonable, dignified home that gives them dignity, that's a matter of justice, isn't it? For them to be able to access medical treatment is also a matter of justice. For their children to be able to go to school is also a matter of justice and access to all these things that we are supposed to do as government agencies.
According to a 2019 survey by the World Bank, Kenya has an annual housing demand of 250,000 units, with an estimated supply of 50,000 units, translating into a deficit of 80%. This makes it just 2% of the formerly constructed houses that target low-income earners. Speaking during the event, the Habitat for Humanity National Director Ruth Odera said that Kenya is working with the Architectural Association of Kenya to come up with a model that could cut the cost of constructing a house of 1 million shillings to as low as 350,000 shillings.
The need for housing is huge and requires collaborative effort. Us as Habitat for Humanity, we can't do it alone, because housing is a very big investment. But so many people and donors are really not interested in housing for the vulnerable. It's very few people like yourself who take their time to understand that the vulnerable, just like anybody else, need this housing as a social right. I'm confident that the families that we are building for today will never forget this day as long as they live, due to this asset that we are creating.
The breaking ground ceremony that we're conducting today in Kiumbi, Machakos, is a rededication to our mission of seeking to put God's love into action. Habitat for Humanity Kenya brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope. Indeed, the construction of these two houses here for two deserving families, and one very generously sponsored by Her Lady Justice and Mr. Koome, and the other by Habitat for Humanity Kenya, comes at a moment when Habitat for Humanity Kenya is reinforcing the relevance of our mission to the unique challenge of housing for vulnerable groups.
Habitat for Humanity is a non-profit housing organization working in local communities in more than 70 countries around the world. Habitat's vision is of a world where everyone has a decent place to live, with the organization working toward this vision by building and improving homes in partnership with individuals and families in need of a decent and affordable place to live. So far, the organization has enabled low-income families in 250 communities to access decent shelter with proper sanitation within homes, schools and hospitals. With the foundation stone having been officially laid by Chief Justice Martha Koome here in Machakos County, the journey of constructing 40 houses for 40 vulnerable families in the country has just begun in a mission to bring hope to the families. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch in Chumbi, Machakos County.